Learning has been disrupted at several schools in KwaZulu-Natal as more of them report positive COVID-19 cases, particularly among pupils. Some schools have had to shut their gates for deep cleaning and contact tracing. Let's get more on this with the province's acting head of education, Barney Mthembu. Mr. Mthembu, can you tell us how many schools have had to close so far?
So far, 4 schools that are known to us had to close for cleansing and disinfection, and they opened again.
And how many positive cases of COVID-19 have been reported amongst learners across KZN in the past weeks?
Although I don't have an exact figure, but we already have more than 200 isolated cases from different schools, where you find that in this school there are 4, in that school there are 10, and so on and so on. But we have already passed the number of 200.
Now, we know the Education Department has very stringent processes in place to make sure fellow learners and teachers are protected. Most recently, teachers have been vaccinated. Has that vaccination program for educators resulted in a serious reduction of positive cases of COVID-19 among educators?
We do believe it has made a difference. Because if you look at it, you can actually pick up that the number of positive cases amongst teachers is not very high. Yet at the same time, we're also looking at the number of deaths as well, to say we don't have fatalities as we used to have. So it does indicate to us that the vaccination is working.
That certainly is good news. However, learners are still taking the virus home to parents, to grandparents, to siblings, to possibly compromised individuals there who may not have been vaccinated yet. So the Education Department has a very difficult task of balancing ongoing education with the safety and health of South African citizens. Are you having to change your approach, or is the Education Department carrying on as you have done over the past year and a half?
The issue of the approach is very important. One, for schools, we're encouraging teachers to ensure that learners would always have work to do at home, because we are using a rotation system. But we're also starting to look at a way of connecting with the parents, so that we all play our role, because it doesn't help us a lot if only schools are enforcing COVID-19 non-pharmaceutical regulations. And you find that in communities and in homes, this is not enforced. So we are going to have a new approach, where we are going to have an advocacy campaign, where we talk to governing bodies, so that they talk to parents, and we work together so that parents also play their role. Because it looks like our effort of dealing with COVID-19 infections is one-sided. The effort is very, very, very high at school level, but in communities as well as in home states, it does look like that there's a relaxation. But also we are going to encourage learners, teachers, and all in the sector to wear masks, because it looks like people are relaxing now, to wear masks, to social distance, and to keep on washing hands, because there is some kind of relaxation which we are picking up, not only at school level, but also in communities.
Education is absolutely vital, as we know, but more than that, schools offer a safe place for many children. They offer a place where many children get access to feeding programs, where they are secured at least one proper meal a day. So children not being at school has far wider implications than just education being compromised. And the ultimate goal is for all children to get back to schooling full time. Looking at where we are with vaccinations of adults, when do you foresee that happening in KZN?
Well, we thought it was going to happen very soon, that we bring all the primary school learners back to school soon, but it looks like now it's already happening. We are already having them back to school, except in schools where there are too many learners compared to the available space. So we are using two approaches. There are learners who attend on daily basis. There are learners who are rotating. But for those who are rotating, we are busy looking at ways of increasing space through mobile classrooms so that we have all of them back to school. So this kind of a trend or pattern where learners are infected has actually disturbed us, because we were looking forward to bringing back all of them, and all of a sudden then we have this. Now what it means that we need to find ways of using community halls, churches, mobile classrooms, and other ways of increasing space, because the bottom line here is that when learners are rotating, they lose a lot of teaching and learning time, and they are staying at home, and they come back after 2 days or after a day, which creates a serious problem. Therefore, we are only saying that we are making all possible efforts to ensure that we increase space so that all learners can come back to school. As it is now, there are schools which are having all learners back because they have space, but there are schools where learners are not back, all of them, because there's no space. In those cases, we're still using the rotation method. But when we're using the rotation method, what we do is we encourage teachers to ensure that there's work to do at home at all times.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for speaking to us this morning. We'll continue to monitor the situation in the province. That was KwaZulu-Natal Basic Education Acting Head of Department, Barney Mthembu.